Hello, my name is Marcello. Welcome to the Source AV Design Group's YouTube channel. Today we will examine the Questyle NHB15 true lossless earphones. We will discuss their build quality, design, and sound quality paired with their included USB-C terminated cable and 3.5mm cable. The USB-C cable is driven by a Questyle current mode SIP amplifier and internal DAC capable of 192 kHz lossless music for smartphones, tablets, and computers with USB-C. We will also discuss how the earphones sound driven by a Questyle M12i portable dongle DAC amp and briefly compare them to another pair of similarly priced earphones I have in-house. These earphones also include a USB-C amp DAC, so stay tuned to the end for those comparisons. Unlike the NHB12, the predecessor to the NHB15 earphones, the 15s has expanded the operating systems they can play with, including iOS, Android, Harmony OS, Mac OS, and Windows. In contrast, the NHB12 was only compatible with Apple. This is great, as according to Questyle, you won't need any drivers to start enjoying the NHB15 earphones, just plug and play. The manufacturer states an extremely low distortion number of 0.0002% with sample rates of PCM 44.1 to 192 kHz at 16 and 24 bits. Questyle, in collaboration with Universal Scientific Industrial, its strategic partner, started developing a series of chips in 2021. This includes the audio SIP chip MA2430 found in the NHB15's DAC amp. This chip operates at a minimum voltage of 2 volts and requires only 3 milliamps of operating current. According to Questyle, the earphone's impedance is 38 ohms and they have a frequency response of 20 to 20,000 Hz and a max operating current of 20 milliamps. The net weight of the earphones is about 26 grams. The two included cables are 1.2 meters long, made from sterling silver, and terminate in 3.5mm USB-C and 2-pin to the earphones. The CNC precision machined earphones are beautifully crafted and remind me of the ship in the movie Flight of the Navigator, for those of you who remember that movie. They are a bit of fingerprint magnets, so that is something to be aware of with their finish, but they are quite elegant to look at and hold. I have no issues with getting a good seal, and the NHB15 earphones are comfortable, even for earphones, which is saying a lot coming from a listener who generally doesn't enjoy them. They include 5 pairs of ear tips for different size ears and a nice leather carry case so you can easily take them on the go. Questyle designers collected extensive data about ear shapes during the design process. They created over 50 models testing wear comfort with over 100 people of different genders, ages, nationalities, and usage habits over 2 years to ensure the earphones are comfortable. When the NHB15's DAC processes audio signals with a sample rate of 48 kHz or below, one of the red lights will illuminate. When processing higher resolution data above 48K, 2 red lights will illuminate. This visual system is nice for quick reference while listening. You're good to go if your phone, tablet, and computer have USB-C. However, if you have an older iPhone like mine that still uses a Lightning connection, the NHB15 will not include an adapter. Unfortunately, Questyle's website doesn't show one available, so you'll have to test other adapters. Let's talk about how the earphones sound. I listen to several of my playlists, which span many different genres of music, including rock, pop, electronic, jazz, metal, classical, movie scores, and more. The bass of the NHB15 earphones is deep, powerful, and impactful. While it may not always be the tightest sounding, depending on the song's production, it will definitely rumble and have you jamming when the bass guitar comes in on your favorite Tool song, when the kick drum hits on Thunderstruck from AC/DC, or the bass lines hit from your favorite Daft Punk electronic tracks. Listening to Yo-Yo Ma, the earphones beautifully express his cello, giving a true sense of the instrument's range and his masterful playing. Listeners who prefer an utterly neutral level of bass will likely want to use EQ to adjust the bass regions, as there is some flavor in them. For listeners like myself, the bass still sounds reasonably accurate, is tastefully done, and is extremely enjoyable. The mid-range has a bit of richness, but again, it does not sound truly neutral. This gives vocals and strings a bit of warmth and body. However, I wouldn't say it's too much of a good thing for my preferences. There's still plenty of clarity and definition for vocals and strings on songs like Friend of the Devil by the Grateful Dead. This extra body and warmth is welcome for vocalists like Sam Smith on Burning, Peter Gabriel on In Your Eyes, or The Weeknd, especially when they hit some of the higher notes in the upper mid-range. I don't find the upper mid-range to ever sound overcooked, and I don't get any listening fatigue from the upper mids, which can't be said for many new headphones and earphones on the market. The treble sounds airy and well extended while never sounding piercing. Cymbals have good sparkle and splash while not overtaking the rest of the instruments. Hi-hats have good sizzle, allowing for some good toe-tapping fun. The treble isn't bright, which I know some listeners prefer. If you like a bright-sounding treble with more emphasis, you may want to use some EQ. However, the balance between the bass, mids, and treble is superb. Listening to Kitaro or The Last Samurai soundtrack and other orchestral compositions with wind instruments doesn't create a fatiguing listening experience for some of the higher notes, which can be an issue for me with brighter sounding earphones. Listening to Miles Davis, his trumpet rarely sounds overly shrill, and the cymbals blend beautifully with the piano and beautiful brass of Davis. The soundstage of the earphones performs well, allowing instruments to travel outside of the earphones on the soundstage with superb imaging and definition. As I discussed earlier, the timbre of instruments sounds pretty accurate, with warmth for many string instruments. Overall, I think the NHB15 is a very enjoyable listen and will please many listeners across several genres of music. One issue I find bothersome about the earphones with the included USB-C DAC amp is the annoying clicking noise when the sample rate changes between songs when listening to playlists. The only other nitpick I have is I would prefer one cable termination with 3.5mm and the inline amp DAC be connected to the cable and USB-C via a female 3.5mm adapter, as we will see from the other earphones I will compare to the NHB15. However, there are likely some design and engineering reasons that translate to better sound quality by not following this route. It would be easier for listeners not to have to disconnect the 2-pin connections to the earphones each time we want to switch between the 3.5mm cable and the USB-C amp DAC. Comparing the NHB15 with the MZ Alba earphones with their included USB-C amp DACs, the MZ Alba has a bit more top-end energy that can be heard especially when listening to brass instruments. So the MZ Alba may be the better option if you like a bit more brilliance and top-end focus. Piano keys also have more bite when they are struck. In contrast, when listening to the NHB15, I find myself melting more into the music than the more attention-demanding sound characteristics of the Alba. The Alba's bass is also less prominent and tighter in presentation, which listeners who like a more neutral, tight, and defined bass region will appreciate. However, listeners who want more rumble and body in the bass regions will lean towards the more colorful-sounding Questyle earphones. The mid-range sounds much more forgiving, especially when listening to vocals from the Questyle earphones. The Alba defines vocals very well, but depending on the singer's vocals, they can sound like they have too much upper mid-range emphasis, leading to less natural sounding vocals. As I discussed earlier, this is especially noticeable with singers like The Weeknd, Sam Smith, and Prince on Let's Go Crazy. The Alba's mid-range sounds more dipped on the FR than the Questyle earphones. Interestingly, when I plug both the MZ Alba and the NHB15 into the Questyle M12i dongle DAC amp, I can hear the limitations of both the USB-C DAC amps on the earphones, albeit less so with the Questyle earphones included DAC amp. I enjoy both earphones, and many listeners will as well. They have very different sound profiles, and the best way to see which will be a better fit for you is to visit our showroom or your local dealer to give them a listen. If I could only choose one pair of earphones, with the MZ Alba selling for around $160 and the Questyle NHB15 selling for around $229 when neither is on sale, I would choose the Questyle NHB15, even though I prefer the tighter sounding bass of the Alba earphones in some ways. The warmth in the mid-range and less emphasis in the upper mids and lower treble region would push me towards the Questyle earphones, especially given the broad range of music I listen to, including some albums that aren't always perfectly recorded or mastered, such as metal, some 90s alternative, and rock, pop, and electronica. For more information on any of the products discussed in this video or to make a purchase, please visit the links in the video description. Also, TSAV has added some new great stuff to our website. Our brand new rewards program helps you earn points for discount coupons on future purchases, and we have expanded longer-term financing options. So check those out and sign up for the rewards program, which is entirely free. We have some cool videos coming this year with new product announcements, so please consider subscribing to our channel today. From $150 earphones to multi-million-dollar home audio, cinema, and automation systems, TSAV is a hi-fi paradise for building the system of your dreams. Please tell us what you think of these two earphones in the comments. Do you have a preference? If so, please explain why. Until next time, friends, remember, let the music be your guide.